this could have very well ended up in a third world war, and that would not have been a good situation. What was your second
And
question?
my second question for President Zelensky: why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest. Why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if do you own a suit?
Yeah, problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not respecting the dignity of this office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes, maybe one.
Maybe something like this.
Something like
Yes,
yours.
sir.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper than. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
President
Thank you.
Trump. Thank you, President Trump. You said yesterday that you have.
Are you going to send more arms to Ukraine?
I had to do this part number 2 on Zelensky. I had to do it because I see that psychiatrists took the role in it. I'm consultant psychiatrist, and this is Zelensky is 5. They started to examine Zelensky, and they started to examine Donald Trump and match the two about who won what Zelensky even made mistakes according to psychiatrists, his body language, that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna go into it. If you like, go ahead and Google. Vladimir Zelensky is a psychiatric president. This is a murder. This is assassin, a killer. I'm not taking the side against Ukraine. I am just repulsed by this individual, disgusted by this garbage Ukrainian. It really doesn't matter which way this individual will go, what's going to come out of this. As you know, I did campaign for Ukraine big time. This question here about his suit, about the Vladimir Zelensky suit, this was the question that I asked the first time I asked Zelensky this question. This was a repeated meeting between Donald Trump, Zelensky, and what you people refer to as a free media, as a press, as a Western press, as a free media. That's what this is. These people whom you hear, whom you watch, and I have not seen many, I not even pay attention to, but these are the people that ask questions based on MKUltra scenario. Such question is, why aren't you wearing a business suit, etc. Was the question I gave to Vladimir Zelensky. This was the question I asked Vladimir Zelensky sometimes in either in 2015 or 2016. I was hijacked to United States of America, literally to the White House. Well, I don't know if it was in 2016 Obama or Donald Trump. I don't know who the president was. Must have been, therefore Donald Trump already was in the White House. And Zelensky, I asked Zelensky because this is just, you are tortured and then you are thrown on the cameras, right on basically to straight into incident. These are incidents, directly into it. Okay, before the incident, the incident that you watch right there in the camera took place, the meeting between the two, which the two rehearsed. They probably rehearsed this meeting on at least 3 occasions, and it's likely maybe even 10 occasions. The last time the two rehearsed this crime was either in 2019 or 2020, when Donald Trump, you have the picture with a black soldier and a lady, white woman and a black guy in military uniform, a white woman in a blue dress, and Zelensky entering through the door was the issue that was discussed. Donald Trump suggesting in 2019, look, and by the way, we also have a black people in America. Look, he's uniformed and so on and so forth. He gave every reason for me to believe that he is against Ukraine, that he will give problems to Zelensky, etc., etc. But this is not what this video is about. These are the issues I already discussed on the blog. In this video, the most I'm disgusted with is just how murderous, unethical United States of America is. I'm thinking about the violence that you dare to present in my face through the White House, through the meeting, the so-called meeting between Zelensky and Donald Trump. I'm talking about the so-called journalism, the White House criminals that enter as journalists and ask questions. I did not know about this stuff. To me, I did not know because I never put attention to this. I didn't put attention to this. It was already during Biden. It was already during the Biden. That's crazy. Biden was the last one. But Obama administration, that they would, no. The journalists in the White House and all that garbage, this goes in the time of before the Jimmy Carter. He goes into the time of Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan posing for photographers, journalists, the so-called, etc. These interactions, these are not journalists. This is not a journalist. This is whatever message your government wants to give, and they make it more interesting as what they used to do in the Soviet Union, where it was very apparent that it was a state figure that answered questions to himself through the so-called journalist, whatever, interviewer, they call them anyhow. They didn't call them even journalists, they called them interviewers, basically. They are viewed as interviewers, not even as a journalist. But in the US, you have a special way on the West. You make it look like more interesting, more exciting. And in my case, this came at truly embarrassing for United States of America. Maybe it's not embarrassing. Maybe you're imbeciles as you are in the US. Maybe for you that's normal. This is a way of life, basically, is to kill people from behind, that kind of stuff. Pedophilia related stuff. Sick stuff, really, really sick stuff. For you, probably it's a normal stuff to do to people. Stuff like this. I don't know, I read about 50,000 people every year in the US get killed through the gun violence. You are straight on the top of the world when it comes to shooting one another. A lot of stuff I did not know. One of the reasons I did not own a gun in the United States, and I didn't want to have nothing to do with it. I was heavily inside on getting myself one, but I refused to associate with the people who had guns and so on. I just wanted to live in peace. And so, as a country or not, I don't know what, I'll tell you that, I'll say that you're barbaric, but you do live like animals, truly like animals. You have a society that, I mean, this isn't about the capitalism, this is about other issues, really. Really the stuff I did not know about. But in this video, I discuss your media, the way this stuff is done, and Zelensky. I never liked this guy, really, because it had positive and negative stuff involved in it, but this once was a violent thug, for one thing, and very, very, very pro-Russian. Things obviously changed somehow during his years when he studied. So is what Zelensky even claimed, that he broke apart from his abusive group of the Russians he associated with during his years when he studied in Russia. But you know, like I said, and you can see all over the internet, in 2014 he was happy still singing in Moscow, giving a full support to Russians, present himself to the Russian national TV, associating himself with Russians. It was a very, very exciting life he had still in Russia. So I don't know how much he broke from whomever he broke and so on. Finally, that doesn't matter. What really matters is where the fuck this whole thing is heading to. I was foolish, stupid enough to even waste energy on matters of Ukraine, I feel, because of this kind of interview, the way Zelensky gave this kind of interview. I feel that I was really, really stabbed from behind, but not from Zelensky alone. I do say from Rada, from Ukrainians. And I don't want to have any Ukrainians here coming. I don't want any Ukrainians around here. It's okay. You keep this. There is Ukrainians here in the village. There is Ukrainians here across the Kirka River. There is Ukrainians that take care of father. The only thing you did in my life, you caused a lot of damage to me. You are here for me personally. Ask me to cause me damage, and you also caused damage to father. You caused damage absolutely in every aspect of my life, to me, to family. To me, you destroyed my life. So you don't come my way. You don't come my way. You will go. You have your psychiatry. This is how you want it. Whether you want it or you don't want it, you will have it. It's not disappointing for me. It's just that Ukraine is a country that you should understand that took a very, very, very strong turn in favor of killing people through psychiatry in exactly same, or in my case even worse fashion than what was done in the Soviet Union, except it's a different side they took. Instead of the Russian, they upresti se, you know, they like you put the horse in or cow or bull or whatever in vejati, I don't know how you say that, so that you can plow the field. They put on something like this in the hands of Germans, Britons, Western Europeans, Americans, and they have assumed assignment of killing people. Basically, whatever their owners from the West, and probably even Ukrainians alone, feel was the right thing to do. I don't even know who the fuck these people, Ukrainian people, really are. Really, when I consider this, I had a lot of problem with them. It was violence that went on in Ukraine, throughout Ukraine, that rage that is unprecedented. Ukrainians were killing me since I was a baby. The same shit like the Russians. Between the two, there was no difference whatsoever. They were bloodthirsty like you possibly cannot imagine. And it's nothing regretful when you are exposed to torture for so long. But notable, really, that the meeting that Zelensky arranged with Donald Trump was designed to remind me of what went on during MK Ultra. So I guess so that I would look crazy, insane, mentally ill. And this way help in American, Ukrainian, German, Ukrainian, British, Ukrainian partnership, so that you would be more, you have more, edge over my case, right? Because look at this. There are psychiatrists that are tossing their opinion about Trump and about others, about Zelensky, and all this media, all this interaction. I must have seen a fucking 100 videos I was bombarded with on a YouTube. Just at least 100 videos about what took place. Yeah, anywhere I turn around, it was just Zelensky Trump meeting, and sickening stuff. Then on Facebook from people that were involved in MK Ultra, that at first bombarded with I don't know, goodbye Zelensky, no more money for Ukraine, and so on. And then I didn't even pay attention to that garbage. I was gonna go and block few people. And I realized that this issue of Ukraine is actually stinking very much. And if I'm gonna go and be doing stuff like this, blocking people and getting myself in, this isn't about getting trouble. This is just about the job I do. This is about just stuff I did. I did cover Ukraine, what went on during MK Ultra to help Ukraine. But yeah, I realized that no, the situation changed later, and the picture changed into embarrassed about what a day for America. We are embarrassed about our president in that sense, and support that was overwhelming support that started to fly in direction of Zelensky and so on, Ukraine and this and that. When I consider this, because it was a period that was only against Zelensky, and then it was the period that was pro-Zelensky, strange kind of stuff. I'm really not interested in this opinions from journalists and media, I should say, and also then all kinds of stuff that was offered on YouTube. You can see in media they bombard with that stuff. but I am very, very unimpressed with Ukraine, which is going to be a country that is not inside of NATO, it's not inside of the European Union, yet it is a bloodthirsty country that is eager to kill people, and I'm going to say even their supporters. Obviously for the cost of support from the US, obviously for the cost of support from Germany, from Britain, from the Western Europe. So that might be actually even some kind of exam. It might be examination to see basically how much they are willing to kill people so they can get this support and so on. Well, this kind of attitude should not be welcomed by the people because it's a criminal attitude. Law is law, constitution is constitution, international treaties are just international treaties, and through Ukraine we wander into the, I don't know, into the Middle Ages or something like that. We're going backwards. And in company of the people like this, we're gonna go to the fucking Stone Age. With British oil is gonna be laughing at everyone, laughing their ass together with Donald Trump. I don't appreciate this, to be honest. And for that reason, exactly for this reason, I don't want any Ukrainians at my doorsteps or absolutely anywhere. Now I make a change about this stuff, and yes, you will do this stuff on your own, whichever way you know. It looks to me that you do have overwhelming support from United States of America based on MK Ultra scenario. United States of America will concentrate on China instead of on Russia. It was agreed, and I was even told that these are state secrets that I could be charged with, and meaning that if I would disclose these secrets to the world, it would be considered, it would be like a big minus for what they owe me and stuff like this, that kind of stuff. This was from the Germans. They gave this kind of speeches, say. This is what you get basically from a garbage that claims is your ally, like I said. Disturbing, extremely disturbing stuff. Yet I think a really important testament about exactly what I have dealt with as a human being. Would it be better off on which side? Would it be better off it's difficult to determine. There's things yet that still needs to be determined. However, if you go with America and if you go with Germany and Britain, you go with the Lucifer. You definitely go with the Satan. There is absolutely no doubt about it. What's going to happen in Eastern Europe is a theory. I'm not going to say regretfully you will stuck with Zelensky, whether you like it or not, which whatever is going to come out of it, this is just the way it is. Regretfully or not, I did my job, and if things are going to turn for worse, which I don't think they will, Donald Trump mentioned China based on MK Ultra scenario. United States, Europe is so strong that can deal with Russia on its own. As for United States of America, they're gonna concentrate, they're gonna pay attention instead to China. They're gonna devote themselves to the conflict with China. I'm sure you understand, I don't owe anybody anything for a torture, for the lynching I endured, and for the way this whole stuff they created, it's unfucking believable. It's incredible. It's incredible. They literally kill you, the family, give you a cancer, break your spine, they fuck you up through the life on forced unemployment and psychiatry so they can play with you. It's incredible what I got from these people. What I got from these people is worse than what I would anticipate would be possible even in Yugoslavia, and that was really reserved for the psychiatric hospitals also, and prisons, and military hospitals and that kind of stuff where they experimented on people and so on. But incredible. This great American saying, a friend in need is a friend indeed. No. You are no friend, you're no ally, you are exactly what I stated you are. This question that Zelensky was asked about attire, about the proper business attire, it was completely logical. I asked Zelensky about the proper business attire. Zelensky was he looked poor during MK Ultra when he appeared in a company of nothing other than business, people with a business attire, with ties. And I'm sure you have noticed Donald Trump, how clean he is shaved, and you know, Zelensky is just I was just going to express myself, he looks all dirty. Even today when he gave this interview, he came inside of the White House really like a bugger. Clothing that he had on him was a very good clothing. Personally, myself, if I was under this kind of circumstances, I probably would use exactly the same kind of clothing. This is just a you know, casual attire, not business, not formal, something comfortable to travel with, and basically, you know, instead of the military uniform, which would be extremely inappropriate, he used something light and understandable. However, that he don't take time to shave himself, that's Ukrainian bullshit, excuse me. You're still backwards with the time, aren't you? I mean, you don't have a feeling, you don't have a sense to be fucking presentable. I mean, this was a meeting, you know, that's one thing I'm gonna say to you. Very unpresentable. Even like this, well dressed, but still I'm gonna say to you, very unpresentable. What I'm trying to say is very unprofessional. And I know this doesn't mean shit to you. I know. I'm just a mental patient. That's how you saw me anyways. During MK Ultra, this is a big deal because everything about me was a big deal. Everything about me was a big deal. I did explain exactly how I would handle this situation Zelensky had faced in the US. This is the proper way to handle the situation. Zelensky did told me that if my blog is going to be really good, and of course if I will not be criticizing him, when I said mentioned earlier about the girl whom I have met in a hostel in Lodz. This was one girl that was affiliated with Zelensky, but the second girl who was affiliated with Zelensky and who steered a lot of shit was the girl who is working in the same department where they have my father now. That's also a girl from Zelensky. In fact, this was Ukrainian, a strong supporter of Zelensky. Was also a strong supporter of me, but I don't understand. I don't understand this kind of. I don't know. Are you people fucking sick completely, or I don't understand. I don't understand. You listen. You're from Ukraine, and I'm from different part of the world, and I view life different, obviously, than you do. We don't have anything common. I'll be honest with you. Your psychology, the way you think and the way I think, is just not compatible. I don't know, but you gutsy, you daring, you literally nobodies, and you dare to approach somebody like myself, position one, view one like he's a dog, actually a mentally ill patient whose well-being depends on your goodwill. As far as you got, when it comes to my case, this is about as far as you ever will get. When it comes to your Ukrainian people, this is as far as you will get. I don't know how things are going to turn out. You have to trust your Ukrainian president based on scenario for which I presented. Yeah, you will get and troops from Europeans, just as is written in the media, European countries in Ukraine, and they will liberate you. Just the stuff that I stated on the blog. However, your Crimea is questionable, and even more it's questionable, and so on and so forth. So far you had my support. I was on your side. Now you don't have me anymore on your side. I'm going to put it this way. I am not on your side anymore. In this conflict, you will take whatever you will get. And this is once again, because Zelensky did stuff to me already before, but this is just once again Zelensky accomplished. And this is truly the last time. You're not going to hear me anymore. You're not going to see me anymore talking about, because the first thing I got was the opinions from the people I didn't even want to see in respect to how Ukraine is freeloading, and finally it's end of the freeloading, and then it was the opposite that was served to me on a plate. So from the mentally ill patient like myself, you aren't going to get opinion anymore. You out. And this is also going to help me in respect to garbage from Brussels, in respect to German garbage, British garbage, Scandinavian, Dutch, French, Italian, Spanish garbage. The people who claimed that they will be doing this stuff for my sake. You're not doing anything for my sake. You're sick. You haven't done anything for my sake. You're just violent garbage, trash is what you are, that continue with extremely violent form of psychiatry supported by the police violence. That's all you are. The only thing you are doing is exactly the definition I stated. It's March the 2nd, this morning, 2025. I am 53 years old, and you have not changed your ways even a little bit, which is good in my case, because it goes to demonstrate your real character. And I am not going to back down. I am not going to change in any way, because it's you who continues to demonstrate your character, not I. I will continue to demonstrate you, depict you for exactly what you are. And you will, of course, continue on your pattern exactly for what it is. And this is also most likely how this case is going to end. It's going to end bad for me. Well, I'm a human being. That's all I am. And it goes to show who and what you are all about. I'm just a human being. And I'm satisfied with that. But a human being is a lot. It's not such a small thing. There's human beings all around the world, also outside of the European Union, outside of US and Canada and Australia. So extremely disappointed in the way this stuff is handled. For me personally, maybe interesting is that Zelensky was screaming during the first interview when he had in 2016. This was Donald Trump already was the president. Otherwise, they would not go into the Obama White House just like that. I don't know how Obama would view these things as, but I don't think that he was keen to keep Donald Trump around the White House before Donald Trump became a president, unless it would have been done without Obama's knowledge, and that was not done. So the first thing that it surely goes to show how sick this Zelensky is, that I noticed in 2016 during this initial stage. They did have me for maybe even day 2, talking about J.D. Vance and so on, and others interacting with me in this area before Zelensky would even arrive. It was like this, and you don't see it here. You don't quite see it here, but yeah, okay, here you see it. You see you can see the chair behind this trio, J.D. Vance and Trump and Zelensky. There is a chair that you people might have not even paid attention to. This is what Zelensky was literally screaming about like a girl during the initial interview. That's this chair right here. It was like a girl. This is such a pussy. This is not a man. This is such an unmanly man, honestly. That the thing about is that this wimp did not change his ways at all. You know, this is the chair I'm talking about, and behind the chair there is this hat here, and this is what Zelensky supposedly, who rehearsed this with Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, was extremely sensitive about it. He said that immediately when he came, they were asking him at the end of the interview in front of me. So this was just the Zelensky's way for me to acknowledge about what went on. As a matter of fact, for me to obviously acknowledge about the future, what I will see, whatever he wanted from me to you know, to be depicted as my being mentally ill. Obviously, this is what this was. Listen, man, if you're gonna say anything else to me ever, that it was for my sake or it was necessary, you come anywhere close to me, I'll fucking kick you in your head in such a way that you won't pick up yourself anymore from the floor. Honestly, I don't really care what the fuck any one of you have to say. You don't understand absolutely anything about this stuff. I don't know what kind of plans you have. The game you play doesn't work here, other than what you anticipate it's going to be a psychiatry. That's what's clear to me. If you have any other plan, I personally will tell you that it will not work out for you in absolutely any way. For this head here, Zelensky explained to people that were interviewing him that he had a bad feeling when he walked inside already due to this head and the chair. There was chair position right in front of this head, and immediately he was thinking about me. And then it was a J.D. Vance who was laughing about it. Yeah, that's true, that had to be this way, and so on and so forth. This kind of a sick stuff, basically. This is the way this stuff is done. That's how they did this brainwash. So this is a reportage on not what we watch, but this is from a human point of view, from my perspective, when compared to the past and what I see now is taking place, where the whole thing is going to. And with the people I see there, and I would really not swear on any one of these garbagers. This is trash. This is an absolute trash. I cannot be very optimistic about the picture I see here. Now, I would definitely hate to think there will be another person they will do that, or they have done it in the past. And worse yet, it truly terrifies me if I consider there will be a possibility that this case, without being noticed by people globally, understand how it all works, how things are done in the West. Now, there might be, and there was, all kinds of sick politicians, and in China and in India, that eventually went ahead and they embraced this kind of violence. Whatever violence, at least visibly, maybe they had to do this. Likely they had to do this because they had to get the money. Many Indians were extremely dissatisfied with this type of treatment, and so were numerous Chinese. But then on the other hand, one thing is money and relations and trade and economy and so on and so forth. And these people who present themselves as a police officer of the world, that's what America insisted since 2002, 2003, with Bush slamming a table, basically demanding for the entire world to see America as a global police officer. I don't know. They just I'm not going to give in a comment, okay, but it can be useful for any system to have garbage like this presented in a really negative light as for what it is. And it's seen on my channel. It's the kind of stuff that certain systems out there take advantage of. It's the people that get fucked around the world because of stuff like this. And say America is not the worst country in the world. America is the worst country in the world. This is a country because of whom things are going to the hell. And it's programmed in such a way to take more advantage of the people against people than other countries do, to remain a number one power. So the whole system in the United States of America is designed on abuse. It's designed to exist on crime, on criminality. It's just designed, it's based on how much you can exploit human, how much you can steal from the people, deprive people from, so that much more you can secure well to yourself. That's United States of America. That's a definition. United States of America that claims human rights issues, is a champion of the human rights and a warrior against corruption, is exactly contrary to what I stated. Is the worst, is the most violent, the most corrupt, the most criminal country in the world. I mean, proven so. From whichever aspect you look, this is precisely for what it is. And in my case, pertaining to my case, it's completely indifferent. It is, in fact, identical. I feel it's important that the world knows what we have sitting right there, what we have talking right there, and what we have questioning this garbage, whom we have questioning this garbage, and even what they started to cast their opinions about who was right, who was wrong, involving psychiatrists in it, body language, who stated what, who stated how. The person who explained this properly, I was the only one, because I explained that for the nation that have endured such a catastrophe, not knowing directly, precise about in which direction this whole thing is turning, being forced to take for granted Zelensky, basically whatever Zelensky has to offer, or whatever Donald Trump has to dump literally in the faces of the people. This is just not the way to go. United States of America was founded by the white people from Europe, Germans, Dutch, British, French, Italians, Scandinavians, but also Polacks, people from Eastern Europe, regretfully so I have to say, also from Slovenia. I have a family there who is there already for a very long time. But really, I'm ashamed to even say this. I am truly ashamed to say this. And so, not so much by the Russians really. It does have a border with the Russia through Alaska, directly borders on Russia through Alaska, and Alaska was sold already, cleansed from the native Alaskan people. It was sold to America for a few $1 million, of course, but still this supposedly are European people, great European founders who you possibly could not believe would approve of politics such as Donald Trump. But then on the other hand, this is why this video is, they do approve of it, and they approve this stuff for other issues. It's a type of war campaign they want, and it's a type of the world they want to form. They want to design this type of psychiatric world basically where you have absolutely no chance to survive, where you're left to your own devices, basically waiting for death to be relieved, literally. A world where there's just total utopia of violence, big brother violence, world where numerous people right now are losing jobs throughout the United States. They are gonna dump I don't know how many workers on the streets that are gonna be either on a social support or homeless if somehow they're not gonna find their jobs. Most of them, really, there's older people and so on, workers. It's gonna be really brutal. Disgusting. In a world where a certain country right there, nation, I'm gonna say, is important and is not important, and is and is not, and is being negotiated about who the friend, who the enemy. I don't think this is the stuff the Ukrainian people deserved. They have been through a whole lot. They have experienced hardship. They experience struggle. They are beaten up to the pulp, if you ask me. And this was just another mistreatment, the way I see it. The proper way, the only person who explained the proper way or how you handle this stuff is I did in a previous video. Yeah, I'm not going to repeat myself on it because this is not what the video is about. The proper way is to be a president and act like a president. Now that this garbage known as Zelensky, he did not even shave himself. At the same time, he was with Donald Trump reminding me of the issue pertaining to the clothing that I had a problem with. I mean, what the fuck, I mean, and what, and psychiatry and so on and this and that. Yeah, okay. That's why you're not gonna approach to this house. That's why you're not gonna approach to this home. And that's why you're gonna have a problem that includes home for elderly people care, where my father is. That's why you're gonna have problems with absolutely everything. And I'm glad, because now I don't have to take anybody's side. I don't have to see myself in something that actually really sickened me my entire life.
Him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people.
Yes, they make this stuff very passionate. So the people have something to write about. The people have something to talk about. Donald Trump continues here about the clothing.
Today, what changed between the first time that Secretary Vance gave
additional troops to Eastern Europe, including Poland?
mandatory lateral assignment was
Mr. President,
after these
They have to pay.
This question
This is
is
the rule.
because
This is the rule of
because
the
I-
war.
I'm
This is
sorry.
the rule of the war. During all the centuries, all the history, this is the rule of the war. Who began, those pay.
do you agree
This
with
is the rule. Putin began this war. He has to pay all money for innovation. He has to pay. Of course, some Russian assets, what we have in Europe, about 300 billion, we can.
Mr.
If
President,
I can answer, yes, if I can answer, sorry, please.
And I do like your clothing, by the way.
Yeah, really?
Even though I think he's a great guy, by the way. But I don't know if you two like each other. But you know what? I think
No,
he's
no,
dressed. I think he's
why?
dressed
I like this
beautifully.
guy. I don't know
I think
him.
he's dressed beautifully.
So I have more.
That we hope to be able to solve. But no, I appreciate your question very much. It's just I feel I have an obligation to try and do something to stop the death.
Mr.
If
President,
I can answer, yes.
Just based on what the Donald Trump stated right now, these words, because this interview was repeated, and it was repeated more than 3 times. But it's this impression I got. You know, they also repeated me the video afterwards and asked me questions and this and that. This man who asked the question is definitely a white American. Must be a blue-eyed, like Nordic person, the one who asked the question. And I don't even get to see one, but I remember who individual was, you know.
If I can answer, sorry, please.
And I do like your clothing, by the way.
Yeah, really?
Even though I think he's a great guy, by the way. But I don't know if you two like each other. But you know what? I think
No,
he's
no,
dressed. I think he's
why?
dressed
I like
beautifully.
this guy. I don't know
I think
him.
he's dressed beautifully.
So I have more serious things than
Yeah, I love the way he's laughing.
answer on such
Yeah,
questions.
sure, that's
I will
okay.
answer on more serious
That's a good
questions if I
statement.
can.
That's good.
Yeah, so please.
And I do like your clothing, by the way.
Yeah, really?
Even though I think he's a great guy, by the way. But I don't know if you two like each other. But you know what? I think
No,
he's
no,
dressed. I think he's
why?
dressed
I like this
beautifully.
guy. I don't know
I think
him.
he's dressed beautifully.
So I have more serious things than answer on such
Yeah,
questions.
sure, that's
I will
okay.
answer on more serious
a good
questions if
statement.
I can.
That's good.
Yeah, so please. About
The two did not like from beginning each other because the man who asked the question supposedly liked me. Yeah, this is the way it was. And during MK Ultra, he didn't even like him. Now, I did not like Zelensky, really. Zelensky did a lot of bad stuff to me during MK Ultra. I had no reason really to like him. So, this man was concerned for me, from what I recall. Now, how much he was concerned for me, you can see today here in this interview. This is how much he was concerned for me. No more, no less, exactly this much. That's all there is to it.
About security guarantees and about just ceasefire. We can't just speak about ceasefire and speak.
Zelensky's body language, he imitated Donald Trump. Just look at how he moved his head and stuff, eyes and so on. That's all there is to it. You know, he gave the impression again about not being responsible for the situation. And he is hell yes responsible for the situation. He started to develop a very, very wrong situation already during Donald Trump's campaign, and did so again during the meeting of Donald Trump, with the meeting on this meeting here with Donald Trump, where Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, truly, they did not humiliate him in any way, but they really, really humiliated Ukrainian people. Ukrainian pledged to continue on the path of the Western democracy, the so-called democracy. And yeah, the democracy is the issue to discuss. And I am discussing one right now. Whatever that might be, that Western democracy, that's what we are discussing in this video. And Zelensky alone doesn't have a problem my discussing this issue. You see, even today, I don't know who the fuck this guy is. For me personally, it's impossible to establish who the fuck this guy is. Because he could be like this, and he could be like that. And this is the stuff they were doing all along during MK Ultra. The same shit like I went to the police station, the same thing, where they demanded from me to see in them and friends, and based on what I experienced with my own skin, where they're doing everything possible to get me killed. Obviously, that's an enemy. And friends and enemy, and friends and enemy, and this in between this, they fuck you. And that's exactly the job of Zelensky. What's exactly what Zelensky is doing. So, I don't know how this stuff is gonna end. I don't know where this stuff is going. This is like a car without the brakes, and well, there's some people that feel comfortable in it. I do not. That's why I am gonna stop with the support of Ukraine at this point in time. It makes me absolutely no sense. The country like this makes me no fucking sense. Whether it's part of the Russia or it's part of the European Union, in my life, the country like this is not gonna make any fucking difference. And you folks, since you feel so comfortable about this stuff here, yeah, keep taking the sides about who was right, who was wrong. Read your articles, because there ain't nothing better to do in life. And make sure you go and vote. Make sure you go and vote. Vote wherever the fuck you are. Go and vote. We'll take a date and time. You don't want to do this stuff here. Eastern. Western. If you ain't got nothing better to do, then you just go and you vote. You go and you vote.